So this will give you an idea of what the road is like as drivers. You can see the road is in nice condition, but it is just compacted salt with sand on top of it. So it is very, very smooth, which does lead a lot of tourists to speed on it. Now that's generally not a problem, but sometimes you get the sand on it and you can skid on the corners. Thankfully, there's very few corners. It is literally a long, straight road. Yeah, a car. You know, I've been driving up and down this bit of road for 2 hours to film a car. But this is pretty much what the whole of the Skeleton Coast Road looks like. There is not much variance. You've got the coast on one side going inland. You can just see the sand dunes over there in the distance on that side. It's not a very well marked out road, which again is another reason not to drive on Namibian roads at night. There is no light out here, and there's not really much in the way of road markings. But that gives you an idea of what the Skeleton Coast Road is as you head north towards, this is going towards Cape Cross past the shipwreck now. And as you see, the road signs are, well, blown away. There's some more road signs, so you can see exactly where you are. And just in case, you're lost. The nice thing is that there is literally just a one road up the coast. So a lot of people, though, do like to try and cut down onto the beach, because there's little roads down there. If you're going to go down on the beach, you've got to be confident you must do it in a four-wheel drive. The beaches are tidal. The beaches along the coast here are also treacherous, because the tide comes under the beach, not over the beach. You know, traditional, a lot of beaches, you get the tide coming like this. Because of the steepness and the sand on the Skeleton Coast, the tide tends to come up like this underneath the beach. And often on a low tide, a low incoming tide, the water doesn't come through the sand. It sits underneath. So it looks fine. You drive on it, and yeah, people lose vehicles every year, particularly on the December, January, when you've got fishermen driving up and down. They get stuck in. Once they're stuck, they're stuck. As you can see, oh, we're coming up to a road sign now. I think we're approaching Cape Cross. Was there any more vehicles? Yeah. Oh, was that? Oh. Okay, so we're now actually coming up to Cape Cross Lodge. So this is the next lodge going north. Oh, I have no control whatsoever. There we go. Yes, so from Henty's Bay, where's my map? From Henty's Bay to Cape Cross, you've got mile 72. Oh, actually, you know that little sign that had the gap in it? Mm-hmm. That was the turning for mile 72. What was happening was that they, because it's only open for a limited time of the year, and when the sign was still up, people were still driving down. They were driving down to the campsite and then getting stuck, because it's a very sandy area. And because nobody else was going down there, they were then stuck 5 kilometers from the road and stuck in the sand. And of course, nobody was going there. So they have taken the signs down. I believe, to be confirmed, they do put them up when the place is open. Unconfirmed on that. But yes, we've now gone to Cape Cross. Henty's Bay has a fuel station. You can buy fuel at Cape Cross, but it's not a petrol station. It's literally just the lodge's own reserves will sell petrol, not diesel, because they aren't a petrol station. They've got petrol for their generators, but they don't have diesel. And it's not a guarantee. They don't have to sell it to you. They do it to you as a favor. So it's not a fuel point. When you're going north along the coast after Henty's Bay, does anybody know where the next guaranteed fuel point is along the coast? Sorry? None. There is none. There is no guaranteed fuel along the whole coast. Terrace Bay does have a petrol pump, but it's about 80% guaranteed. And often they will limit the amount of fuel. And that's it. If you're going inland, Horicas and Kamanyab are the next two garages you'll find. So fuel management is quite important. But Cape Cross. Cape Cross is a nice lodge. We will quickly look at the camping there. Have we sold much Cape Cross? Do we get inquiries for it, you know?
Yes, we do.
And they're good to work with?
Yes, but we don't get commission.
We don't get commission on the camping, yeah. Okay. But the camping is nice, and because it's on Skeleton Coast, they've built walls, because pretty much the Skeleton Coast is windy all the time. So you've got a braai area, electric, water, shared ablutions with hot water, the campsite set up away from the beach as well with these high walls, so even when it's windy, especially if you're on a ground tent, you actually can catch the wind. The problem is roof tents tend to stick up a little bit, and they still shake a bit, but that's Skeleton Coast. And this is the beach at Cape Cross. When you're camping at Cape Cross, you are allowed to use all the lodge facilities. So they've got a restaurant, a bar, really beautiful beachfront. This was on a nice quiet day on Cape Cross, so you can go up there paddling if you want. They've actually got a bit of sandy beach here, which is nice. And so you can use all the facilities. And the lodge is actually a quite nice option for accommodation as well. Although I'm not sure what sort of price range it is. I'll have to check on that. But the camping is nice, quite good value, and you can use all the facilities. The reason there is a lodge there, in the middle of nowhere, is the Cape Cross Seal Reserve that is right next to it. They are all seals.
Looks like rocks and stuff.
Yeah. You'll see when I disify you completely, and this is the walkway we can go to seals. I'll calm down a little bit, just getting the drone under control here. So you can see, yes, these are all seals.
What?
It's the largest, as you can see them all moving and see them all on the rocks. It's the largest seal colony in Africa for Cape fur seals. Oh, it absolutely stinks. And they make a sound like sheep. They like bleat. It's so they're very cute to look at, but boy, it smells and it's noisy. They're also quite aggressive because it's a breeding colony. So in the breeding season, up to 500,000 seals are there. So all the male bulls, which spend most of their time at sea, then come onto land, then they fight for dominance, then they get to mate, then the little pups come along, then the males fatten up and then go south down toward the Atlantic, down to the Arctic. And this is the walkway, which has got little gates on it, where it's safe to walk. So you can walk pretty much into the colony. When it's at high season, let's see how far, just pause it there. All of this area, and this area, you can actually see where it goes to there, is covered with seals. Just absolutely covered. I mean, literally, one of the biggest dangers for baby seals is being crushed by other seals in the breeding season.
Is that a magnet for sharks?
No. Sharks are generally not cold water creatures. There is, however, whales. Now, there's not many whales hunt seals, but the orca whale does.
Oh, so they do get visitors?
Yes, yeah. But generally they're migratory because they don't live along that coastline. So from that point, from the sea perspective, the seals actually have quite a nice life along there. It's really good marine life, really good food. On the land, though, it's a different story. Because you've got brown hyenas, spotted hyenas, lions, and jackals will come in and prey on them. And occasionally, you can be on here, and actually I had experienced it at Torre Bay further north. You can be on the walkway here, and a lion can be walking in here into the seal colony. And it's just looking for either weak ones or dead ones already, and it'll pick up the carcass and walk off. Although lions do prefer it a little bit wiggling. The hyenas and the jackals, they'll take the carcasses. And then there's lots of predatory birds come in as well and take them. But yes, the biggest danger to seals is other seals, especially when they're younger. There's just so many and they're packed into such a tight space. But yes, you can go on the walkway. You must be careful with the seals. They are aggressive and they are a lot bigger and faster than you think. Even on land, seals can move at quite a pace, especially the mothers protecting their calves, but also the males. If the males, occasionally, generally the males only stay around these areas, surrounded by as many females as possible, real studs. But occasionally they'll wander up here. Once they get past here, because obviously they can go round, and they get stuck up there, they get really aggressive. And this is where the car park is, just here. And occasionally people have been like stuck in their vehicle because the male's like right outside looking, you know, and I mean, when I say male, you're looking at an animal that can grow up to 1.5 ton. So that's heavier than my combi in weight. And it's probably as long as the combi in size. These males, they grow enormous. They really are. And of course, they are also contributors to why it's called skeleton coast, because so many of them die and the bones are then washed up on the thing. So it's more contributing to the bones. So that's one of the reasons for going up Skeleton Coast. But it is quite a limited reason, because you can, as you can see, here's... there we go, we're going to get to the car park now. And this was a picnic area that they built there. Now, you're going to picnic in front of a minimum 50 to 100,000 seals. It's like, most people go there and go, oh, no. It's the only place I saw people wearing masks all the time. We used to do our trips. The night before we were in Swakopmund, and then we would drive up the Skeleton Coast, stop at the seal colony, then we would camp at mile 108 and go into Damaraland with the trips. And because we'd been in the desert and we had tourist groups, Swakopmund was our last party night. So we used to drink a lot and get hungover. Then we'd drive all the guests here in the morning and they'd get out of the vehicle and go, the smell is just like really overwhelming. So it's a fascinating place to see and know about, but people don't hang around. People spend about 10 minutes there. They go, oh, that's really beautiful. I'm out of here.
How far is it from the lodge?
It's 7 kilometers of driving. Geographically, if you walk down the beach, it's only 2 kilometers. But from Cape Cross Lodge, you're not allowed to walk north along the beach, because that's where the colony is. You can walk south from Cape Cross Lodge, but not north. Because the beach, Cape Cross Lodge, is literally just down here. But obviously, it's too dangerous for the to walk up, and you're going to interfere with the seals. So you have to drive out of Cape Cross Lodge to the main road, go half a kilometre, and then drive all the way back down again into the Cape Cross Seal Reserve.